government to take back rapid transit system land if transfer occurred. At least 2 died as Cyclone Fani batters eastern India. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Cynthia Arthur. You're watching News on 2. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says the government will take back the land used for the Johor Bahru Singapore Rapid Transit System RTS project if its ownership had been transferred to any party. The Prime Minister said anyone who wanted to acquire land needed to go through the due process. Tun Dr. Mahathir said this when asked to comment on claims that one of the 5 plots of land for the RTS project had been transferred to the Sultan of Johor during the reign of the Barisan National Government. Asked whether the land was bought by the Sultan of Johor, he said the government did not receive a full report on the matter.
If he has paid, of course, we have to buy back. But if he hasn't paid, we don't buy back. It is our land. That is part of the land that was acquired for the purpose of building certain necessary buildings.
The Premier said this after chairing the Pakatan Harapan PH Presidential Council meeting at the Federal Capital yesterday. On a separate note, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said Malaysia hopes to recover a total of $7 billion or 29 billion ringgit that was allegedly misappropriated from One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB. He also confirmed that the United States is preparing to return $200 million linked to the Troubled State Investment Fund.
Yeah, they are going to give back 200 million.
So you know about this then?
I heard about it, and I think they know it is our money, so they will give back our money. Singapore also will give back.
The Premier had previously said the stolen 1MDB money, which amounted to $4.3 billion would make its way to Malaysia, but not all of it. According to a news report by Bloomberg yesterday, the US authorities were in the midst of preparing to return about $200 million of funds allegedly misappropriated for 1MDB to Malaysia, which was likely to be transferred as soon as next week. The proposed Pulau Pinang undersea tunnel project will continue and is in its final stage of its feasibility study. Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow said the state government's technical consultant HSSI Sdn Bhd has reviewed the study prepared by the consortium Zenith Construction Sdn Bhd CZC. The 7.2-kilometer tunnel project that connects Gurney Drive to Bagan Ajam in Seberang Perai is under the Pulau Pinang Transport Master Plan (PTMP), a state-run initiative. The Pulau Pinang Chief Minister was replying to a question from Muhammad Yusni Matpia, who wanted to know the project's current status and the amount incurred thus far during a question and answer session at the State Legislative Assembly sitting in Georgetown. Answering Muhammad Yusni's question on the investigation into the project by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC), Chow said the MACC had carried out an investigation into the project in the first quarter of 2018 and thus far no prosecution has been launched. Communications and Multimedia Minister Gobind Singh Deo has urged more small and medium enterprises, SMEs, to adopt digital economy so they can be part of the digital ecosystem and take advantage of the digital economy. He also said private sectors need to step up and play a crucial role as the main drivers of innovation and to facilitate digital entrepreneurship. Gobind said this measure will allow Malaysia to keep abreast with the ever-evolving economic and technology landscape.
Tetapi melalui proses pendigitalan ini, kita lihat bagaimana banyak daripada masalah-masalah yang wujud dari segi dokumentasi, permohonan untuk mendapat kewangan dan sebagainya, ia dapat diatasi dan ianya dapat diatasi dengan pantas. Jadi dalam keadaan tersebut, kita lihat bagaimana perniagaan-perniagaan kecil dan khususnya usahawan baru, usahawan skala kecil dan medium, mereka ini boleh mengembangkan perniagaan mereka dengan menggunakan teknologi yang baru.
The minister said this during the investment signing ceremony between Axiata Group Berhad and Mitsui & Co. in Kuala Lumpur. Economic Affairs Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said his ministry and the Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Ministry would look into ways to develop abandoned and undeveloped federal lands for farming purposes in a bid to boost the agricultural industry. He said both ministries were briefed on the many federal lands left vacant with no existing plans to develop the lands in the coming years. Dato Sri Azmin said it is better to develop these lands for the agriculture industry, and with the skills and expertise of the Agriculture Ministry, they can determine the soil fertility for certain industries. He said the current food trade imbalance demands the government to seek new ways to reduce the country's dependence on imported food, as well as increase farmers' income.
Jadi sementara ekspor kita meningkat 2.2%, tapi import juga meningkat 3.5% dan menyebabkan defisit dagangan makanan dalam sektor gula dan madu sebanyak 3.2 bilion ringgit. Ini sebagai satu contoh. Daging dan sediaan 3.2 bilion, sayur-sayuran 3.3 bilion, bijiran 3.4 bilion, makanan dan ternakan 3.9 bilion.
Coming up in sports, Malaysia thrashed Austria to reach Olympic qualifiers. Malaysia advanced to the finals of the FIH Men's Series Finals after defeating Austria 3-1 in an intensive semi-final match at the National Hockey Stadium, Bukit Jalil, last night. With the win, Malaysia, the world number 13, also confirmed their berth in the last stage of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics qualifier together with Canada. Malaysia took the lead in the 11th minute through Faisal Shahari's penalty conflict just seconds after Azrai Aizad Abu Kamal's shot struck the goal post. As Malaysia were down to 10 men after Nick Muhammad Aiman Nick Rozemi was sent to sin bin for a green card in the 31st minute, the world number 19 Austria took their chances well to net the equalizer through Leon Thornblum a minute later. The scoreline remained till the end of the third quarter as the Malaysian Tigers failed to capitalize on a number of chances against the defensive Austrians. The wait was finally over when Muhammad Marhan Jalil scored from a penalty corner deflection in the 55th minute before Mior Muhammad Azwan Hassan's field goal 3 minutes later sent the Austrians packing. 3 Malaysian players managed to reach the semi-finals of the Asian Squash Championships yesterday at the National Squash Centre in Bukit Jalil. Both Loh Wee Wen and S. Sivasangari easily defeated their respective opponents, while young men's player Ng En Yeo upset favourite Max Lee Ho Yin from Hong Kong. Ng En Yeo displayed some energetic performance to confuse his higher-ranked opponents in the first set to grab an 11-8 win. Although Max Lee managed to win the second set, also by the same scoreline, Malaysia's rising star did not let the home crowd down by winning the next 2 sets 11-7, 11-7 to march into the semi-finals. Ng said the win was a major boost to his confidence and will encourage him to perform even better in his quest to reach the final for the first time. That concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, at least 2 killed as Cyclone Fani batters eastern India. News on 2 will be back at 7 this evening with more updates. Till then, I'm Cynthia Arthur and have a pleasant weekend.